What's up, guys? Shay Stevens here, PDGA number 77522, and today we're checking out one of the exclusive discs for the 2024 Space Race, the Streamline Eclipse range. Let's get to it. So for many years now, MVP fans have been begging the company to make a Berg clone. The Cast-to-Blast Berg is a low-glide, slightly overstable approach disc that some players even putt with. The big benefit is because of that low glide, it will just fall out of the sky as it decelerates, so you can really run your target or run your putt and know that this is going to drop behind it, so you don't have to worry about overshooting too badly. Now, it's a very polarizing disc. Some people really love it for the reasons I just described. Those who oppose it, this is the camp I fell into, just believe that if you know how to manipulate a disc and nose angles, you can pretty much make any putter fly like a Berg. It's kind of like the lob wedge in golf, if you're familiar. It's a very severely angled wedge. But if you have a sand wedge and you know how to manipulate the club face, you can make a sand wedge do what a lob wedge does, and you don't need a lob wedge. You're going to need to bag a sand wedge for the sand traps, and you can get those shot shapes out of it as well. Now, proponents of the lob wedge basically say, hey, the tool's made for me. I don't have to change anything about my swing or anything, and it does what I want. So, you know, if you like it, you like it. If you don't, you don't. So I didn't really think MVP was going to make a Berg clone per se, but enter the Streamline range. So it's got that puddle top as the Berg would have. A little bit of a different profile. We'll be taking a look at that in a moment. Flight numbers on the range are speed of 2, glide of 1, turn of -0.5, and a fade of 1. So by the numbers, more understable, a little closer to neutral than the Berg. But yeah, before we head out for a little 9-hole round at Fulmore to see how it flies, let's look at some side-by-sides. And starting off the comparisons, we have both testers up here. The 175 gram on the left up against the 173 on the right. And both ranges look nice and uniform. Parting lines line up to what we like to see. Now, I couldn't find a good way to capture this on film, but it feels like on the 175 gram, I guess you'd say it has a higher shoulder. Just when you run your thumb from the flight plate out towards the rim, you just feel a little bit more resistance, like your thumb comes up a bit more compared to the 173. Pretty darn close, but there might be a little bit of variance. You know, this is MVP's first run of, low glide discs. But I did hand these to a Berg aficionado, and he also noted it, so I think it might be there. So just take that into consideration. For these next two comparisons, shout out to Jeremy Guth for lending me discs. I don't own any Bergs. I gave mine away. So starting off here, we have the 173 gram range on the right up against his, I believe it was a K1 Berg on the left. So parting line on the range is a little bit higher. However, you got to look at the nose on these discs to really to get the story. So the finish of the disc from the nose to the bottom on the range, smoother, more gradual compared to the Berg, very blunt there on the bottom. Likewise, the Berg, higher profile and a very blunt nose. So that's what's going to create drag when this thing is slowing down. So the Berg should be more overstable than the range. That being said, these are 2-speed discs, so don't expect it to be like a meat hook. But I do expect the range to be a good neutral flyer, whereas the Berg does have a good finish on the end. And for one final comparison, we have the range on the right up against a Berg X on the left. I don't have much experience with the Berg X. I just know it's a more overstable Berg, and sure enough, parting lines line up pretty well on these two discs, but the nose on that Berg X is just wild. It's just, that is almost a wall. Higher profile, so that thing is just going to be creating all kinds of wind resistance, slowing it up and making it dump out at the end, so definitely expect that to be the most overstable of the three, but again, just affirming, I think the range is going to be a nice neutral flyer. Now, let's head out to the course. All right, now being honest, guys, these are not my first throws with the range. We got a Berg fanatic in the club here, Bob Weaver, who insisted on playing a few holes with it, so do have a little experience with it, but haven't obviously figured it all out just from playing I played 2 holes with it. Still got to learn some things, but I have learned if you mash this thing, just even on hyzer, it just pushes so straight and neutral, so I'm going to try and take this pretty tight to the Mando if I can, favoring the miss on the right side, and just trying to go for distance. This is a 270-foot hole, so it's going to be hard to carry with a disc with 1 glide. Whew. All right. Played that out wide like I was playing a pyro, but I might be basket high.
So actually pretty impressed. I probably got a good skip on the ground, but basket high with a 1-speed on a hole that I usually throw a pyro at just to get the easy hookup. All right, it's about 22 footer, a little bit uphill. Okay. All right, so definitely on that last shot, I did observe that 0.5 turn. It flipped up nicely to flat and pushed forward, gave me that birdie look. But from my other experiences I've had, putting this disc on Annie, it just drops. You can't really get a pocket of air to hold it up. And this is a turnover shot. So I gotta either go turnover and really punch it, or I can try to go for a flatter shot inside, but I don't really like that just because there's some stuff on the right that can grab you and put you way back. So I'm gonna go for a slight turnover at that big tree to the left of the basket and hopefully find a way in there. Beat it. Yes. Oh, parked. Well, I'll be dipped. I thought I parked it, but these things got some distance on them. I thought it was just because of the downhill in hole 1, but I struggled to get a Berg past the basket off the tee shot before, and this guy went easily like 25-30 long, so kind of some goofy footing here. Nah, load it. Gotta want it. These are not anodes I'm putting with. So, you tap this boy in. Par. Alright, hole 3, 166 foot downhill shot here. With a disc like this, I'm tempted to just throw a backhand turnover, but we want to show off all the aspects, so we're gonna go forehand. I normally throw an entropy out wide, let it crash in. I'm gonna have to go more direct with the range. So a little higher, a lot more angle. Just push it out there. Now I'll drop. All right, could have given it a little more pop, but we're putting. So yeah, for a forehand hyzer shot, don't know if I like it. I think it's the range is meant more for that like point and shoot, just laser beam at the basket. Know it's gonna drop if you miss. So might be able to show that off somewhere else on the course. For now, let's see if I can knock this putt down. Ah, low. Get it up. I missed my anodes. Hole 4, 217 foot. This is a fun one because I usually have to throw something like glidey, hyzer, flippy, kind of like my beat up envy for this shot shape. So I'm just gonna try and murder this range on hyzer flip. Just get under the ceiling, hopefully, and when it pushes and carries forward. Got a little flip out of it and a little ground play. We are putting, kids. Thought it was a little bit further up, but still we got a putt. Just got to get it there. There we go. All right, for this one we're gonna try dueling shots. The shot I'm counting is I want to throw a backhand turnover, just nice and high, and hopefully this thing will just come crashing down. And then I'm gonna try and throw a forehand. It's gonna be a full power forehand. Don't know if I can even get it there, but I'm gonna give it a shot. So first off, the turnover. Plinkos. Think I'm on the backside. All right, now let's try that forehand. So I'm going really high with this. You see that light pull in the distance? I'm trying to go like at least 10 feet above it on hyzer. Throw it to flat. That's how I throw my entropy usually. That's not a bad flight, honestly. And this is the forehand. Went long in the basket, but short of there's a tree right here. If you remember my, I think it was my pitch video. I was under that tree, so just short of that. So not terrible. Ah, chained up. And then my backhand is right here on the rough. Yeah. So taking the birdie. But yeah, like I said, throwing this thing power forehand, dead straight. So really nice. If you like that, you know, just dead straight with drop at the end, range is gonna work for you. And hole 5, 257 foot par 3. A little bit of a tailwind too. So it's time to air out a 1 glide disc and see what we can do with it. So I'm thinking like a smidge of hyzer, if anything. Get it up nice and high, let it ride the whatever little pocket of air this thing can form, and we'll see how we do. Got it up, got it nose up though. Alright, pretty much all we're gonna get on this hole. Alrighty, let's see if we can give this a proper run. That's the whole point of this disc. I should be able to give this a nice little bit of nose up, put some zip on it. It should just drop behind the basket if I don't put it in. Just short, my life story. Probably would work with an anode. Oop, little tappy tap par. Hole 16, 190 foot, or sorry, 189 foot, par 3. And this is the shot the range was made for. I gotta go up over these trees, and then it's just gotta drop out of the sky on the basket. So usually I have to get cute with a hyzer angle and, like, you know, throwing like 60% on a putter on this hole. I should be able to give this a nice full send and just let the disc do all the work. I seem to remember not to throw it out as wide as I normally do. Ooh, tickle some cabbage. Go in. Yes! First ace on the channel. We're doing the rundown. Darn it, this thing might be in the bag now. Going across the bridge that could probably kill somebody because it got hit by hurricanes. But I started this channel in 2020. Yeah, I think summer of 2020. I have never had an ace on the channel before. Darn it, I always rip on people for throwing these no glide discs. And then it goes and does this for me. Oop. So it was the 173 gram. Nice. Whew. We are riding high, guys. So 8th hole, hole 17. I always forget the distance on this one. The sign's all faded out. I'll have it on the screen. But yeah, this is a big turnover shot. This is gonna be fun because usually you gotta, like, I have to again get touchy with an anode turnover. This one I feel like I can just blast it on a little bit of Annie and it's just gonna, you know, drop out of the sky. Hopefully park the mound. I like the angle. Oh yeah, right on the mound. All right, so I hit the mound in the air, which is cool, and it checked me up just past it. Not as cool as an ace, but like good shot, right? All right, and wrapping things up. Hole 18, 150 foot par 3, Mando left off this tree. I feel like in order to get the forehand there, it's going to take an insane amount of finesse that I don't have. So we're going backhand turnover again, nice high, good angle. I'm going to try and really get it working to help it left to right, because I feel like this disc does kind of drop out of the sky. So we're going to go stand still, make sure I hit my line. Drift. I just died in the wind. Yeah, if you want a disc for lateral movement, I don't think the range is for you. It takes a lot to get it going left to right. You don't get much out of it. I mean, I maybe got like 15 feet of drift on hole 17, and this requires a much more severe angle. But a little uphill run. I just gotta give enough juice to get there. Yes. So yeah, range kind of good. Back to Shay.
So this review is brought to you by the word hypocrisy. I didn't want to love the range, guys, but dang it, it just feels really nice and clean. I love the lower profile compared to the Berg. I feel like the releases are a lot more crisp. getting great little hyzer flips out of it, and it gave me a freaking ace. What more could I ask for? So the big question, will it make the bag? Will this be the first Streamline mold to make my main bag? Honestly, guys, probably yes. I got to throw it a little bit more just to really commit to it, make sure I love it, but everything it's shown me so far, I dig. So, yeah, keep an eye out. You will probably be seeing this disc again in the future in my videos. So if you want to get a range, you got to remember, guys, you can only get it at a space race. So be sure to check out your local events. If you want to find the closest space race to you, head over to mvpcircuitevents.com, and you can find the nearest one there. It'll hook you up to the disc golf scene. You can sign up and get yourself a range and a total Eclipse Crave. I really applaud MVP for the pairing this year. So if you're a slower arm speed player and you're worried about having to throw this maybe 125 to 150 feet, the Crave as a 6-speed, everybody should be able to do that. So really good balance there with the offering. It's not like that one year where it was the electron stabilizer and the electron entropy, and some people were really struggling just to get to the basket in an ace race. So yeah, good job to MVP on that pairing. Well done. I'm looking forward to playing mine. If you're playing the space race at Tamanin Park in Southampton, I'll see you there. But with that, guys, thank you for all your support. If you have any questions for me, reach out. I'll do my best to answer them. Take care. Thank you to my sponsors. For all your disc golf needs, check out Phoenix Discs and Foundation Disc Golf.